Welcome back to the channel for a review of last night's Carabao Cup game, Port Vale against Birmingham City, which ended Birmingham City 0, Port Vale 1. Which, to be fair, shock result. Probably upset of the round, to be fair. And they say 24 hours in politics is a long time. Well, 3 days in football, especially when it's Port Vale, is an eternity. When you look at the performance, especially the second half on Saturday, compared to last night, it's light years apart. But that's football for you. Pleasant surprise. And we move on to the draw for round 3. And just to put it in perspective, Birmingham City are unbeaten in the Championship this season. They've got 2 wins, 1 draw, no defeats. And last season in League One, they went the whole of the season unbeaten at home. So it's a fair achievement what the Vale did last night. Especially given you look at their side and you look at some of the transfer fees they've paid. Jay Stansfield, for instance, 15 million from Fulham, came on at the start of the second half. Couldn't affect the game in the slightest. You look at Lyndon Dykes, £1 million from QPR. You look at the defender Cashin. They've got him on a season-long loan from Brighton Hove Albion. And Brighton paid Derby 9 million. 9 million for him. You look at Tommy Doyle. They paid £10 million for him from Wolves. Cochrane, who came on at half-time, 1.3 million from Hearts. So when you look at it all in all, you look at how expensive their side was to put together. And we nullified them totally last night. Absolutely nullified them. If you look at the statistics from the game, they had 69.9 possession. They had 9 shots, not 1 on target. Then you look at us, we got 30.1% possession, 11 shots, 3 on target. A thoroughly deserved victory, and it should have been more. But if you look at let's start off with Darren Moore. Now on this channel, I say it how it is. There's no airs and graces. I give credit where credit's due, but I don't mind saying how it is. And that's the problem. People don't say enough how it is. So I say it how it is. And people who listen to what I've got to say on my various videos, the last one in particular, I gave Darren Moore after Saturday a right good rinsing, and he deserved it. I said on that, he needs to do better. And he did. Credit where credit's due. Last night, he did better. For how he likes to play, that defensive formation, that's the best it has been played since he's arrived at the club. It was a stellar, as a team, 10 out of 10, how Darren Moore likes to play. It was faultless. And for that, he gets a 10. Because he implemented exactly what he wanted to implement, and he implemented it perfectly. So credit where credit's due, and credit does go to Darren Moore for that display. Right, moving on. So we lined up. We got Gucci in goal, as I like to call him. Now he comes over as a great goalkeeper to me. commanding in his area. His distributions, I think, is better than Morosi's. The one little fault, the closest they came to scoring last night, though, was when he did dither on the ball and he kicked it against their player, which luckily narrowly went wide. And that was the nearest they came to scoring. So for that, I'll give him a 7. Now, the system he played last night, Darren Moore, was very close to the maligned 3-4-3 system, which some sweet irony in the stellar performance was given out was practically with a system that everybody, including myself, hates us to play. But it wasn't totally a 3-4-3, because at times sort of Headley and Curtis were dropping into the midfield and leaving Fall as a lone striker. So really, sort of when we were in possession, it went to a 3-4-3. Out of possession, it was more 3-6-1. So yeah, but it was effective, and that's the main thing. So on the right-hand side of the back three, we had Jesse Deborah. And for Jesse Deborah, you've got to say that was his best performance in a Vale shirt. Everybody last night was unbelievable. He didn't look flustered like he does at times. He looked more composed. And for that, I'll give him an 8. Then in the middle, we got Ben Ennigan. The 2 games Ben Ennigan's played, he was man of the match by a mile at Blackpool when I was there. And last night, he wasn't far off last night. And when you look at their players that they got on show, and everybody knows his lack of pace, but he's clever with it. Didn't look once exposed for lack of pace. Won all his headers. Organised the back line fantastically. I thought he was brilliant again, Ben Ennigan. And if, say for instance, if we just signed him and you just watch that, you think, wow, he's like Cameron Humphreys, he's as good as him. But he was brilliant last night, Ben Ennigan. And he gets an 8. Cameron Humphreys played the first half. Hopefully they just brought him off because he's all linchpin in that back line. Class apart, Rolls Royce. People go on sort of like about centre halves and defenders from the past. And I can go back to the good old days. And the best defender we've ever had at our football club, the classiest one, was Dean Glover, by a mile. And he played on the left-hand side. Now, I'm not saying Cam Humphreys is a Dean Glover, but what I'm saying is he isn't far off a Dean Glover. And if he isn't as good as Dean Glover, he's the second best defender I've seen in over 40 years at Port Vale. Cool, calm, brilliant on the ball. And he had a brilliant first half. So Cameron Humphreys, he gets an 8. Kyle John came on for him in the second half. And what I'll do, I'll go through the substitutes as he came on for the people. Kyle John came on, had a great half. Great half. Fitted in seamlessly. He was tenacious on that left-hand side. And I thought he had a cracking half, to be fair. And so for that, I'll give Kyle John, because he played the whole of the half, I'll give him an 8 also. So we move to the 2 wing-backs. Jordan Gabriel first on the right-hand side. I'm beginning to think, having seen him a couple of times now, I think if Mitch Clark is a better player than Jordan Gabriel, I think he's a better player defensively, and I think he's a better player going forward. I haven't seen anything yet from Jordan Gabriel going forward that says he's a better player than Mitch Clark. I thought he was okay last night. He was industrious up and down the line. Didn't make any mistakes. But when Mitch came on after 69 minutes, we looked to have a little bit more thrust on that right-hand side. So I'm going to give Jordan Gabriel a 7. Then moving on to Ryan Crosdale. How he could be dropped on Saturday for Ben Garrity beggars belief. One thing Darren Moore has definitely got wrong. He played it the wrong way round over these 2 games. He should have played Ryan Crosdale from the start on Saturday and brought Ben Garrity on. And then he should have upped Ben Garrity's minutes in the cup game and started him last night and brought Ryan Crosdale on. But he didn't. He did it the other way around. But Ryan Crosdale was brilliant last night. He ratted all around. The only thing which, the chances we miss, I don't know how he missed that header. I reckon if he headed that ball as it came across another 10 times and he tried to miss, I think he'd only miss on one occasion. He was that close. It was incredulous how he missed. Unbelievable. And what a chance. But apart from that, Ryan Crowley, he was everywhere. He was everywhere. What a performance. And for that, he gets an 8. Now moving on. Reece Walters, my man of the match. Nobody would have thought last night how young he is. He was brilliant. Composed on the ball. He's moving away from players. Making the passes simple. Wow. I can't see him being with us for much longer. If Talai's gone for 1.2, he's definitely a £2 million player given his age. Given his length of contract, he's on a 4-year contract. We should not let him go for any less than £2 million. What a player. And he defies logic again. I'm not having a go at Darren Moore. I've given his flowers on this review. But for not having him in the squad over the past few weeks, beggars belief. When you look at the performance he put in last night against Birmingham City, wow. He should every day be in before Jordan Shipley. There was no justification whatsoever for playing Jordan Shipley in front of Reece Walters. There's none. So hopefully moving forward, given that performance that he played last night, that our manager sees that. But we'll see. We will see. And Reece Walters, he gets a 9. He was outstanding last night. And moving on the other side, Liam Gordon. I thought that was one of Liam Gordon's poorer games for us, to be fair. In a good team performance. He got caught out a few times. Gave the ball away a few times. His delivery wasn't the best. But he's got a good engine on him. He's got that little burst of speed. But not his best game in a Vale shirt. And for that, he gets a 7. Now as the front 3 go, Ronan Curtis. Ronan Curtis, I found him frustrating again last night. I thought his delivery at times wasn't the best. He's not a free kick. He's not a free kick taker either. He had a great opportunity. First half for that free kick, just outside the box. Awful, straight into the wall. And his chance he had second half, which went narrowly wide. He's got to hit the target from there. But the one thing he did do, he kept his shape well and he worked tirelessly. And you will always get that from Ronan Curtis, to be fair. His work rate, he can never fault. It's just his quality, his decision-making at times that needs to improve. And for that, he gets a 6. We move on the other side, Jermaine Edley. Now, he's farther forward than he has been in recent games. And he was good. I thought he was effective. Couldn't miss his header. He was even closer than Ryan Croasdale. So there's no chance he could miss the header. And it was a great ball in. Good finish. And overall, he had a decent game. And for that, he gets an 8. Replaced by Ben Garrity on 77 minutes. So get more minutes in Ben's legs. And I thought Jermaine Edley, he was decent last night in an unfamiliar position. And last but not least, Mo Farl. Again, he should have scored twice again. He could have had about 6 goals by now. He had the header that bounced in front of the goalkeeper, which was an easy one for the goalie to save. A camera save from the goalkeeper. And then the other one, close, was a good save from the goalkeeper, which was about a couple of yards out. He flicked it, and he stuck his hand up, and he was a good save from their goalkeeper. But I thought Mo Farl, I thought he held it up well. He's tricky, and he was effective at what he did, shall we say. So I'll give him a 7. He was replaced by Rory Payton, which was nice to see Rory back after 57 minutes. And I thought Rory, when he came on, was neat. I thought he buzzed about. He kept the ball better than a lot of the forwards do. When you look at sort of like when it was played into Rory compared to when it's played into Ben Waine and etc. Wow. Yeah, he looks after the ball well. But we'll have to see with Rory. He's got to, if he's going to be in that team, he's got to score goals. And I wouldn't mind seeing him have his opportunity. Playing in the front two, which he never played in the front two for us last season. He wasn't allowed that privilege from Darren Moore when he was messing around with 3-4-3 constantly. So the proof of the pudding with Rory is going to be if he gets his opportunity playing in a front two, playing in a 5-3-2. And fingers crossed, you never know. You never know, that might make a difference to him. And you never know, if he gets that goal, gets a couple of goals, confidence will rise. And he might be a bit better than we think he is at the moment. But all in all, what a night. I don't think many of us saw that coming. But, a great night. 21,000 there as well. Unbelievable. So thanks very much for listening or watching. Please like I say, please subscribe. And most importantly, up the Vale.